Hi, Mr. Zulueta.
1, 2, 3, audio testing. 1, 2, 3, audio testing. Welcome, Stefania. Welcome, Gloria. Please give me and your classmates 2 more minutes. That way we can begin our new unit, Unit 3. So 2 more minutes maximum. Thank you. Thank you for being present.
Okay.
Hello, teacher.
Hello, my dear Majo. Welcome to today's class. We are still waiting on your classmates, so perhaps 30 more seconds. Thank you. One, two, three, audio testing. 1, 2, 3, audio testing. We are now live on YouTube, so we are streaming live. Remember, all the classes are are recorded and the YouTube link is always shared at the end of the class. So with that being said, let's welcome my dear Stefania, Gloria, Maria Jose, Valentina, and Veronica. So I have 5 students present. Let's begin. Today is May 17th, 2021. Today we are going to begin with a new unit, and well, this is unit 3. As you can see, one of the most important skills to learn and go over is the grammar aspect, the grammar skill. So let's go over this unit summary, unit 3. So I am going to ask each one of you to help me read. Estefania, you're going to read video listening. Then for vocabulary, Gloria. Then for the speaking skill, Majo. Then we have grammar, that belongs to Veronica. And then Valentina, you will concentrate on task listening and pronunciation. At the end, reading and writing, basically. Stefania, you will conclude it. So with that being said, let's begin. Let me try to zoom in, okay? So let me ask you, Stefania, is the screen clear?
Yes, teacher.
All right, so let's begin. Please help me read.
Okay. Video listening. Watch the video and answer question about the information and ideas. Learn more about body language. Ahora ha aparecido una cosa en medio. Ahora sí. Learn more about body language and other cultural aspects of the video.
All right, thank you. And well, Nicolas Tamayo, welcome. We are going over Unit 3 summary, what we are going to learn in this unit. So welcome, thank you for being present. Vocabulary, Gloria.
Okay, vocabulary. Learn the meaning and use of these idioms without of the blue, out of color, control, out of date, out of it, out of place, out of question, out of shirts, out of the way, out of work, out of this world.
Thank you very much. So idioms using out of, and I'm pretty sure you'll learn how to say it in a more fluent way, which is out of, out of. Okay, so try to say it out of, out of. Thank you very much. Gloria. Majo, speaking.
Okay, speaking. Learn expression you can use to express necessity. I don't have to speak to you. Ask question about necessity. What do you need?
All right, so express necessity. I don't have to speak to you. All right, that's interesting. Now let's continue with grammar. Veronica.
Teacher, le comento que no lo puedo ver.
Okay, one
Me sale
second.
borroso.
What about now? ¿Qué tal ahora? Veronica? I think your microphone is off.
Teacher,
Yes?
¿no?
¿Ya se ve claro?
Ay, me sigue saliendo borroso.
Ok, en el grupo de WhatsApp.
Ahora sí, ahora sí.
Ok.
Sí. Grammar. Learn to express yourself using infinitive of purpose. I went to see Yaki Baker. Modals of necessarily. I've got to make sure. I've got to make sure he believes me. Participle adjectives. I'm so disappointed. It was really interesting.
All right, thank you very much. So this is, to me, I believe that this is the most important part, the most important skill of this unit. And well, in this week, for this unit, we are going to work a little bit different, meaning that I have YouTube videos that explain these topics, okay? Participial adjectives. Remember, there are two types of adjectives. One is to describe what you think about something, and the other adjectives are used to inform how you feel. So we will watch a YouTube video, and believe me, you are going to familiarize and understand it in an enjoyable manner. Remember, there is also this platform, Pearson platform, always has the grammar explanation, but I believe that by watching extra material such as YouTube videos, I believe we can understand it better. All right, so we are going to watch 3 to 4 YouTube videos, and I will also share the link at the end of the class. So infinitive of purpose, what are verbs with purpose, with a purpose, all right? So modals of necessity, I cover that too. And well, the videos that I am going to show you, if you have the chance, opportunity to watch it at home later after class, perhaps you can start, well, perhaps you can subscribe to these mentors, to these instructors, which I consider them to be very professional with a thorough knowledge of the language. So let's continue with task listening and pronunciation, my dear Valentina.
Okay, teacher. Pronunciations. Practice your pronunciations of reduced verbs. Have to, want to, go to. I really want to introduce you to him. And endings, you missed a great party the other night.
All right, so thank you very much. We are going to learn, we're going to practice the reduced phrases. So this is a phonetical aspect of the language. For example, have to, want to. I believe that want to is going to be changed into wanna, perhaps. Okay, I wanna, and gotta, I gotta go. All right, so reading and writing belongs to Estefania, but you already read. Welcome, Nazarena. Welcome, Nicolás Tamayo. So, Nicolás Tamayo, can you read reading, the reading skill, and then Nazarena, please help me read the last information. So, Nicolás Tamayo, reading.
Okay, sure. Reading. Read a magazine article about how to negotiate successful. ¿Cómo pronuncio esa palabra, teacher?
Successfully. Yes,
Successfully.
Negotiate. All right.
Negotiate successfully.
Okay, so we are going to become like the actor Leonardo DiCaprio. I don't know if you've seen the movie El Lobo de Wall Street, something like that. No es tarea, pero vamos a negociar exitosamente. Vamos a aprender a negociar, vamos a aprender frases para negociar. So, Nazarena, welcome. Can you read on the web?
Okay, teacher. On the web, research websites about costumes and traditions around the world. Write a paragraph about how you would negotiate with someone. Negotiate with someone from another culture.
Thank you very much. So, negotiation around the world. I've heard, here is an example. I've heard that in the Middle East, okay, in the Middle East, when you want to buy something, you need to bargain, negociar. Necesitas negociar, es decir, tratar de bajar el precio para comprar algo en lo más barato. Incluso es tan importante en esa cultura que si no tratas de negociar o bargain, to make a bargain, pues como es culturalmente un aspecto del Medio Oriente, pues como que la transacción no está completa, como que algo faltó, así que es dependiendo también la cultura. Pues bueno, chicos, como les comentaba, hoy tengo 3, 4 videos que va a explicar de una forma enjoyable, ¿ok? Estos aspectos de los infinitivos con propósito, modals of necessity y también los tipos de adjetivos en este caso participial, okay? So with that being said, let's begin with Unit 3. Ok, le damos la bienvenida a Gleyber da Rocha. ¿Cómo estás? How are you? Your microphone is off.
Teacher, good night. No, soy Caitlin.
Okay.
La cuenta.
What's your name?
Caitlin.
All right, Kate, welcome to today's class. I was just telling your classmates that for this unit, Unit 3, we are going to learn from YouTube videos. So we're going to begin now. I will always share the videos that we watch. I will share them on the WhatsApp group. That way, if you want to watch the videos at home after class, you may do so. So let's begin with the information. All right, so here, let's begin with the vocabulary. Remember, we are going to familiarize with idioms using out of control, out of this world, out of, etc. Remember last class, we also learned a little bit about idioms, and había una información curiosa, que no tratemos de darle un significado, que no tratemos de dar una traducción, porque no significa lo que, palabra por palabra, no significa lo que es. Los idioms tienen, su propósito es dar un mensaje, informar de una forma diferente. Así que vamos a ver entonces este video de idioms.
You'll learn how to use some common expressions and idioms, all of which start with the words out of. Okay? Now, let's see exactly how this works. First, we'll start with some expressions, and then we'll look at idioms. And all of them are going to use the words out of, but in different ways. All right? So, when we use the words out of as an expression, there, the meaning is consistent. What does that mean? The meaning is pretty much the same. It means this. When we say I'm out of X, it means I have no X left. Okay? For example, when I'm out of something, it means I have no something left. I had something before, and now I don't have any remaining. There's nothing left. For example, okay? The examples always help you to really understand something. So Let's say you go to the fridge and you open it and you're about to have a nice cup of coffee and you say, oh my goodness, I'm out of milk. What does that mean? You had milk before, but now there's no milk left. So then we say, I'm out of milk, for example. Now here, when we use it as an expression, it always means something like that. There's no something left. There's no something remaining. For example, in the office, you go to use the printer and you can't print. Why? Because you're out of paper, all right? Or you get into the car and you have a really big problem because you're out of gas. Okay, gas here means gasoline, petrol. Okay, all right. So that's a very common way that we use the expression out of. All right, and here it always means that you don't have something left that you had before. Let's look at some other examples where it means the same thing, but a little bit more abstract. So for example, you're at an exam, you have 3-4 hours, you have a lot of time when you start, but at the end, in the last 5 minutes, you have to hurry up and finish your essay or whatever you're doing, because otherwise you will be out of time. All right, that means you won't have no time left. All right. Or you go to the casino with a lot of money in your pocket, but after a little while, the money's gone. You have no money left, or you are out of money. Or we could say out of space. For example, let's say you're moving and you're packing everything into a truck, but you've still got a lot of furniture left and there's no space. So you say, we're out of space. We have to come back one more time with another truck to fill the rest of the furniture. Okay? That's called being out of space. So do you understand? In all of those examples, and we use that a lot with anything, okay? And it always means you had something and now you have nothing left. That's the straightforward way in which we use this expression. But we can also use out of as an idiom. And then it doesn't mean that you have nothing left. It means all kinds of things. And each time, each idiom means something different. So you kind of have to learn what that idiom means, okay? So here with it, when it's used as an idiom, it can have different meanings. Let's look at 8 of these to see what they mean. All right. So the first one is out of touch. You might have heard this, especially if you write to people by email. And what it means to be out of touch means to not be in contact. So I haven't heard from John for a long time. We've been out of touch. All right. We're not in contact regularly. All right. Another idiom, out of work. If you say that John is out of work or Mary is out of work, what does it mean? It doesn't mean that they don't have any work left. It means something a little bit different from that. It means they are unemployed. They don't have a job, actually. All right, but it's kind of a nicer way to say that somebody's out of work. It means they're unemployed. They don't have a job right now. All right, the next one, when you say, oh, have you talked to James? No, I haven't seen him. I think he's out of town. Okay, what does that mean, out of town? That means he's not in the place where he usually lives. All right, and that could be a city, or it could be a town. It doesn't matter. We use the expression out of town even to talk very much about cities. It just means that you're away from the place that you normally reside or live. All right. And the last one of these, out of order. You might have seen this sign on some machines sometimes. So out of order means that it's broken. It's not working. All right. It needs to be repaired, needs to be fixed. Could be a telephone, could be a printer, could be anything else. All right. So let's just review this for a minute. The first segment. So if somebody is unemployed, what could you say? You could say they are out of work. Good. I heard you. Yeah, I can hear you. All right. The next one. Let's say that something is not working. Okay. The refrigerator, not working. It's actually out of order. Okay. Now, usually we don't talk about it so much for things at home. We talk about it more like public machines. Okay. Like a telephone or a printer, things that many are. Character is your personality. your mental and moral qualities that make you who you are. So for example, let me give you the example first and then I'll explain, all right? So let's say that Mary is a very reliable person and she always does whatever she says she's going to do. And she always tells you if she's going to be late or this or that, right? And today, she was supposed to be here at 7 o'clock. It's 9:30 and she hasn't called, she hasn't come. It's very out of character for her. So you're getting a little bit worried because if she's ever late, she always tells you. So that would be out of character. Means it's something that's not typical, not normal for that person. It's out of character. Okay, some kind of behavior which is different from what they normally do. All right, the next one, out of practice. Okay, this we use quite a lot, okay? We use it for all kinds of things. Out of practice means that you haven't done something for a long time, and so now you're not doing it at your best. For example, let's suppose in school you learn French, okay? And at that time you used to speak a little French and so on, but now you haven't spoken French for years. So you're out of practice. You're a little bit rusty. So that means you're not going to speak French as well as you once spoke French, all right? It can also apply to things like playing an instrument, for example, okay? You used to play the piano when you were young, and then you see a beautiful piano and some friends say, hey, John, you used to play the piano? And you say, no, I'm a little out of practice, okay? That means you haven't been playing recently. All right, let's look at the next one. Out of sorts. Okay, if someone tells you they're out of sorts, it means they're a little bit unwell. Here, really, there's nothing to help you. You just have to understand this expression the way it is. All of them are like that. Some of them you can figure out a little bit, but the main point about idioms is that the words alone don't tell you what it means. You have to really understand it overall. So out of sorts simply means that you're feeling a little bit unwell. Not very, very sick, but a little bit unwell. And you don't know exactly why. Usually, that's what they use that expression, okay? And the last one is out of nowhere. So when something happens out of nowhere, it happens suddenly. It happens unexpectedly. You didn't think that this was going to happen. You had no idea.
De la nada, out of nowhere, de la nada.
And you say, it happened out of nowhere, okay? For example, you pick up the phone, somebody's calling, and it's like, who's that? Wait a minute. And oh my gosh, it's your friend from high school about 20 years ago. And you're like, wow, out of nowhere. How did you find my number? How did you get in touch with me? So it's something unexpected and sudden. All right, so let's review a little bit. Okay, so before we read our story, let's just review quickly. So remember, we can use the words out of as an expression or as an idiom. When we use it as an expression, usually with a noun like out of sugar or out of milk, out of salt, etc., then it's just a straightforward meaning. But when we use it as an idiom with the 8 that we looked at, then it has a special meaning, which is quite different from the words that are involved, okay? All right, so now regarding the story, there are 2 ways you can do this with me. One is before I read it with you, I will move aside like this, and you can stop or pause the video and just read it by yourself first and see if you can understand or what you can understand, all right? And then I'm going to go through it and I'll explain as we go along, okay? So if you want to pause the video, pause it now. All right, so now let's continue. So when Jack and Susie were out of work, they were also out of touch. What does that mean? When Jack and Susie were out of work means when they were unemployed, when they didn't have jobs. They were also out of touch. They were also not in contact, all right, with me. Let's say that's what we're going to find out. That was quite out of character because we are close friends. Out of character, that was out of character of them to do that, means it's not typical of them, not normal, not the way they usually behave. I thought that they might be out of money or even out of town. Out of money. Now here, it's not an idiom, right? It's just an expression. Out of money means